So we're going to have greetings from Joanne.
All right, well, thanks, Dana. I just wanted to welcome everyone to the 2020 What's New webinar. Of course, it's 2019, but this is for what's coming up in 2020. We have a lot of really valuable information, and I want to thank Dana and Jeff and the technical committee for all of the work that they put into making sure that this comes out to our membership. So please, make sure if you have any questions to direct them in the chat, and if there's something that we haven't addressed that you want to know, you can always send an email through your technical channels to those of us on the technical committee to make sure that our upcoming year is good for everyone and that we all know what we're headed into. So with that, I'll turn it over to Dana to move us on to our first topic.
So our outline for this evening, we'll do introductions, and then we'll touch base on the new season reminders just to keep them fresh in your mind as we head into the next season of competition. I'll update you on some key education committee projects. We will touch base on long-term athlete development. We'll do some program reviews, touch base on the competitive program, bring you some judging news, group event updates, coaching and judging realignment project, touch base on some course conductor information, go into some WBTF news, talk about our major competitions and the international events that are upcoming. And then at the end, there'll be time for some question and answers. So first of all, doing introductions, our CBTF technical committee. I'm Dana, your technical chair. Past technical chair is Jeff Johnson. Our WBTF technical advisor is Maureen Johnson. Our current judges rep is Jenna Jemayev, and I'd like to thank Amy Kalin, who was our former CBTF judges rep, for the work that she did, and welcome Jenna into the role. Our WBTF judges rep is Ron Kopis. Our CBTF coaches rep is Maureen Johnson. Our athletes reps are in a co-position. It's Chantel Sutton and Alyssa Larad. And with the athletes rep position, we're going through a new process this year, and there'll be the formation of an athletes commission. So it's going to be very important for each province to ensure that they have an athletes rep in place. Those provincial athletes reps are going to form the athletes commission, and those athletes on the commission will select the national rep. So just make sure that within your province, you're getting an athletes rep in place before the end of this calendar year. Our group rep, please welcome Leisha Strawn, and thanks so much to Leanne Wilson for her work in the role over the past few years. Our SDP rep is Sarah Thibault, and our sanction officer is Sue Mapham. And our provincial technical reps, if I have anything wrong here, just let me know by update. But this is what we've got so far. So our BC rep is Tracy Isons, Alberta, Jenna Jemayev, Saskatchewan is Nancy Lightheart, Manitoba is Leisha Strawn, and just as of today, this afternoon, MBTSA had their AGM, so we'd like to welcome Sarah Sebeski as the new technical chair for Manitoba. Ontario is Leanne Wilson, Quebec is Lisa Pitre, New Brunswick is Brenda Arsenault LeBlanc, and at the moment, Nova Scotia is vacant. We'd like to thank Gwen for her work in that role over the past few years. And our CBTF Education Committee is made up of myself, Maureen Johnson, Jenna Jemayev, Karen Grattan, Jeff Johnson, Ron Kopis, and Joanne Moser. So now we'll move into our new season reminders. So as I just mentioned, after your provincial AGM, please submit your newly elected provincial reps to secretary@cbtf.ca. And that's very important because we will update our group email addresses that are used by our national reps to contact out to the provinces. So if you don't submit your provincial reps along with their email address, you're likely missing out on our communications. And just below is a list of all of the group email addresses that we send to. So get those in as soon as you can, and to secretary@cbtf.ca. Competition results, as always, please send this information in immediately after each competition. You can use the competition results form on the website, and it will directly upload and submit your results. So with that on the website, you can attach almost any type of file, a PDF, a Word document, or an Excel spreadsheet. And you'll find that under the quick links and the competition results submission. So the results are used to calculate our Athlete of the Year awards and our Challenge Cup awards. If you aren't submitting, then your athletes are not being credited with their points. And we require all of the results from graded and competitive events. So not just your advancement scores, we need all of them. And just as a reminder, you don't need to submit your pre-competitive event results. We don't need to have those on file. Graded medals. So competition directors are expected to use the standard CBTF medals for the graded events. It's a national program. And of course, you can use your old stock until you run out. Every once in a while, we change the type of medal, but they're all CBTF branded medals. So the orders for those medals are invoiced directly to CBTF, and then CBTF invoices the province. And the order forms have been distributed to the provincial technical chairs by Sue. The deadline is December 1st, and that goes into office@cbtf.ca. And just very, very recently, we've added an online form for ordering those medals. So if you'd rather just go to the quick links and click on graded medals order form, you can submit your order right on the website and save the extra step of filling out the PDF and sending it in. So just remember to order enough medals to cover the individual graded events and the group graded events in your province. We only order once a year, so you have to make sure that you get enough ordered, and maybe do it now so that you don't have to wait until December 1st to get that done. Judging lists. So we have an online form on the website for competition directors to complete, and that's again under the quick links part of the site. It's just over in the top right-hand corner. So this will automatically get forwarded to the CBTF judges rep and the WBTF judges rep. So you don't need to send an email along with that, just submit online. They must be sent in at least 6 weeks in advance, and the purpose of submitting your lists is to allow for certification checks to take place and make sure that you're actually hiring judges that are certified to judge the events that you're running in your competition. So just a reminder, CBTF rules state that if a judge judges an event that they're not certified for, the results are invalid. So if there are any last minute changes to the list, let us know. The CBTF judges rep and the WBTF judges rep, just let us know immediately, and we'll let them know immediately, and we'll update the lists. Music tagging protocol. So you'll be able to find information on this in the resource section of the website. So it's critically important that all music files are labeled correctly, and there's 2 areas that you need to check this on. So the general name and then the deeper advanced properties. The standard was introduced to allow any music technician to locate your files easily with the main title using the same protocol as the announcer. So it also allows for easy reference and contact because you can identify your music and contact the province or the club if there's any problems. So again, to be labeled properly, both the music file name and the deeper properties must use the protocol described, and we're going to go through it in detail. Provincial technical reps, you're the ones who are responsible for ensuring that all music within your province is tagged and labeled correctly. Going into the details of this, you can find the instructions on the website, but for freestyle, we want the word free followed by the age division, status level, first name and last name of the athlete. So if Jane Doe was doing Junior B freestyle, her music file should be free Junior B Jane Doe. For pair, we want the word pair, age division, status level, and both last names of the athletes. And for groups, we want the event abbreviation. So DTT for dance twirl team, TT for twirl team, PPT for pom-pom team, AGRP for artistic group, and FST for freestyle team, followed by the team name, followed by your abbreviated club name. So this is a little bit new this year. So the club abbreviations are 3 to 4 characters long, and I'm just going to put them up on the screen. This is also going to be available on the website. So jot it down now if you see your club up there. And if you don't, then write in and we'll let you know what your code is. And if I'm going through too fast again, you'll be able to find those on the website. Any club who's been to the Canadian Championships will likely know what their club code is because you'll have seen that printed in the program. So this is what you're going to use to add to your group music names. And again, we didn't mean to leave anybody out. These are just the clubs that we're aware of. So if you don't see your club here, we'll get you a code. Okay, so once you've named your file, you need to go into the properties of that file. So you'll open your Explorer. Sorry, and I'm going to speak from, I'm a PC user, not a Mac user, so if it's a little bit different, I apologize. But go into your file, right-click on it, and open up the properties. And on the General tab, you'll have the name of your song as listed, or the name of your file as it's supposed to be listed. And then you have to click onto the Details tab, see on the right-hand side here, and go a little bit further down into the Media section. And that's the information that's really important to fill out and helps sort the files when it's loaded onto the CBTF iPad. If you need any help with that, first read through all the instructions on the website. And if you still need help, ask someone within your province, your technical chair, to give you a hand with labeling those files. Moving on to just a reminder about announcers and timing of the start of events after breaks. So we implemented this a couple of years ago, and this is what is done at the Canadians. So it's good for you to follow it within your province. Get your athletes used to the procedure that will be followed at Canadians. And it will be consistent. So in order to provide a consistent protocol for the athletes that are in set one or first on the floor after a break or an event change, so if you're moving from solo to two baton, we would like provinces to follow the same procedures. So you do a warm-up, 5 minutes for each division, and you can split that up, junior, senior, or do 2 music run-throughs per grouping of athletes, for example, the first 7 sets and then the next 7 sets. Then you'll clear the floor and the judges report to their tables or the stands. Then you'll sweep the floor, announce the judges' names, and then introduce the first athletes. So that gives that first athlete an idea of how long they have between their warm-up and before they'll be called onto the floor. Videotaping for education purposes. So thank you to all the provinces that have submitted videos over the past year. Our library is growing and we can still use all of the events. So continue to video for us with a focus on twirl team, primary and juvenile solo dance, all of our pre-competitive events, and all of badges and pins. So those are the ones that we really need, but if you can video everything, it's always good to grow the library. The WBTF has made a tempo adjustment to the men's short program music, so that's available on the CBTF website as part of the CBTF music CD, and it's also available on the WBTF website. Music timing. So this is a reminder that the first responsibility falls with the coaches to cut the music to the right time. The second responsibility lies with the competition directors at provincials to make sure the music's the correct length. There were unfortunately a number of athletes who were penalized at Canadians for being overtime. If you need a reminder of what the timing is for all of our events, you can reference the technical reference manual on the website. It's also in the quick links box. And we have a section called time limits. So check things out there, make sure your music's all cut to the correct time. Extended solo music. So this year we're now moving so that it's only level BA and level A that are using the extended solo music. That was determined 2 technical meetings ago. So not a surprise. Note, since we use the solo music for duet, it's also applicable to the duet event as well. So your BA and A athletes will just be doing the extended music, and that's the same for 2-baton and 3-baton, BA and level A only. So make note that for level C, BN, and BI, judges should stop judging at the beep and put their heads down. So it's not rude. That's the rule. The CBN and BI athletes only twirl up to the beep for solo and 2-baton and 3-baton. Judges will be putting their heads down. There's no credit for material after the beep at the CBN or BI level. If an athlete keeps twirling after the beep and the judge's head is down and there's drops occurring, well, those don't count either because the judge isn't watching anything after the beep. If I'd say if there's a baton in the air, so they're doing their last trick and it leaves their hand before the beep occurs, that's part of the end of their routine. If they catch it, great, they get the credit for it. If they drop it, they're getting that drop penalty because it went into the air before the beep. So hopefully that all makes sense, and coaches and administrators and competition directors, don't be surprised to see the judges not watching the CBN and BI level athletes after those beeps. And just a reminder about the provincial berths for the 2020 team trials. So the rule on the books is that each province is allowed to send up to 5 entrants in each freestyle pair or team division, with an additional berth earned for each final round placement at the previous Canadian team trial. So that was our 2018 trials. And this chart shows you within your province how many athletes, pair or team, you can send to the upcoming 2020 team trials. The 2019 Canadians Focus meeting is now available on the CBTF website. Judges must order it through the CBTF education store. There's no charge for the purchase if they want credit for it as an update. So watching this focus meeting qualifies as an update for M2, M3, and WBTF Master Judge certifications. And in order for you to receive the update credit, you must purchase it for free through the store and watch all sections. And that includes the freestyle, even if you're not a master judge. So you can download the files from the My Account area and watch them locally, or you can watch them online from the YouTube channel. And then judges will be updated effective June 30th, 2019, which was the date of the focus meeting, so not the effective date of they purchased or downloaded the files. So moving along now to our key education committee projects. Just a quick update. So our online technical reference manual is the project lead is Karen, and that's an ongoing project. I encourage everyone to visit that. If you have any questions, you can usually find the answer there, and it's laid out by subject topic. So search there first before anywhere else, and you should find your answers. The video library, Ron is the project lead for that, and of course it's an ongoing update as well. So I thank Ron for his work on that. French translation, so Brenda's the lead on that, and we are, it was on hold for a little bit, but now with the progress we're making on the coaching and judging and adjudicator courses, Brenda and her team is going to be busy doing a lot of translating for us. The SDP adjudicator course is being updated by Sarah, and I'll talk to this a little bit later in the webinar, but we're going to aim to have something up by December. National Coordinator of Course Conductors, that's going to be in place after our realignment project of the coaching and judging programs is complete, so we're close on that as well. Pre-competitive events role model video, Jen has been working on that. We just have a few things to update on that, and then we hope to have that in place by January, so for this competition season. So there's a lot of work going into that. Quality and training of compulsory moves and short program elements. So that was something that came up with the education committee during last year. We brought it to the technical committee, and technical committee agreed that, yep, we need to do something, and they kindly sent it back to the education committee to work on again. So we will put something together and propose something for the next fall meeting. The Level B short program pilot. So Maureen is heading this up. She's putting together a pilot program this season for Level B short program. And you can watch for that information coming out soon. Of course, Saskatchewan will pilot it since Maureen's there, and looking for at least one other province to run the pilot. So if you're interested, watch for that information, but also technical chairs from the province, zip me an email just to let me know if you'd be interested in piloting that program for us. And then another thing that came out of the fall meeting was hot seats for the judges. This was something that was done at the recent Canadians, and we decided that we're going to prepare some to be used at local competitions as well. So Ron and Jenna are going to be working on that, and we're going to hope to get something out for competitions to use in the new season. And then we have some subcommittee projects that came out of the recent fall meeting. First one is going to be International Cup Qualification Standards. Name of that might change since we're probably going to be, it's going to be Nations Cup, but the idea is that we have qualification standards. So Nancy, Maureen, Leanne, Alyssa, and myself will be working on that. Another project that came out of the fall technical meeting is restrictions for Level B freestyle. So that committee is made up of Leisha, Loran, Sarah, Maureen, and myself. Solo dance twirl score sheet revision. Wendy and Sarah are working on that, and we'll have that to you hopefully early January. And then the role model refresh. We're working on updating medley, solo dance, dance twirl team, and duet are our primary focus for the role model refresh. And that committee is Jenna, Ron, Wendy, Natalie, and Andrea. So a lot of work going on in between the annual fall meetings, and the education committee will take all of this work, approve it, and then present it for approval again at the fall technical meeting 2020. One of the projects that came out of the 2018 fall technical meeting was our refreshers. And we had, I'd like to thank Leisha, Deirdre, Ron, Jenna, Maureen, and Sarah for the work that they did on putting together each of the event refreshers. There were approximately 160 technical members who received the refresher course information by direct email. I have to say I was disappointed in that we only had about 14% completion rate of the refreshers. So I'd like to see that number to be much, much higher, considering the amount of work that our volunteers put into preparing them, and it's full of a lot of great information. We did receive great reviews from those that took the refreshers. They are still on the website under resources in the library, so I'd still encourage everyone to log in and view those online refreshers and complete the survey at the end, for providing your feedback. Program reviews. So just a reminder that the skills development program, the pre-competitive standard routines for individuals, and our individual graded system, the review season is coming up in 2021, which means that this year, we're gathering all the feedback, recommendations, questions, anything like that to do with those three programs get sent in this year. Skills development program comments should go to Sarah Thibault, and pre-competitive standard routines and graded systems should come my way. So feed those up through your provincial SDP reps or your provincial technical chairs. We will gather that information, put together sort of the list and the summary to present at the 2020 fall technical meeting. In the 2020 fall technical meeting, we will sort through what we're going to do with that the review happens in the 2021 season, so we want to be prepared with all of that. So if you've sent in information already, I do have it, so you don't have to resend. I've got a file and it's all saved. But if anybody has any other comments or anything that they would like to see changed within those programs, this year is the year to start sending in those comments. Moving along to long-term athlete development. So this document is available on the website, and I encourage all of the coaches and clubs to download it and read through it and make use of it. It's really a tool that you can use in setting up your programs within your club. This is what we're using as the framework at CBTF to guide our decisions from a technical perspective. So I encourage the coaches and the clubs to use this tool as well. At the recent fall meeting, there was a lot of very good discussion surrounding levels and progressions and requirements and restrictions at each of our levels. So we refer to this, and it has guided some of our decisions. One of the things that came up at the fall meeting was C and B compulsories. And again, how to improve the quality of our compulsories with our athletes. And if you're following long-term athlete development and following our skills development program, this shouldn't be a problem. So with as of September 1st, 2020, so that's next year, this does not apply to this competition season, but I think you need to start paying attention to this. And in order to enter level C compulsories in an open competition, an athlete must have attained their silver pin. And in order to enter level B compulsories in any competition, an athlete must have attained their gold pin. So yes, the SDP must be done in order, and all of the badges leading up to each of the pins must be passed by the athlete in order to be tested for the pin. The rolls and the 2 baton pins are the only exception because those are optional pins within the program. So if you have athletes doing B freestyle and therefore B compulsories, as of this time next year, they have to have their gold pin. If anybody's going to enter level C compulsories, they have to have their silver pin. So get working on your badges this year if you haven't already. So you're going to be, the provincial reps, the provincial skills development program reps will be receiving an email from Sarah this week. She has the database of all the SDP testing results. So this is going to be your opportunity to verify that all of your provincial results have been submitted and recorded. So Sarah will appreciate your help in looking through that and getting your information in that might not be in the database. So SDP reps, watch for that email from Sarah, and she'll CC the technical reps in case you don't have an SDP rep within your province. Another thing that came out of our fall meeting was along the lines of, so you want to do freestyle. Some provinces are looking for a national standard to use as backup when determining who should do a freestyle. And there's other provinces that would like guidelines on when it's appropriate to do a freestyle, but not to have any minimum requirements. So during our discussion, we've found that some clubs already have standards that they have implemented. And ultimately, we've left it as it should be the coach's decisions, but excuse me, that guidelines would be helpful. So here's some of the information that we had circulated at the fall meeting. Some coaches have different criteria that an athlete has to meet before they do a B freestyle. For instance, to be level BI in solo, to have a 4.0 in solo dance or medley, to do compulsories in the competition for a year before doing freestyle, or to obtain a certain score in compulsories. And then we came up with a list of other considerations to think about before committing to do a B freestyle, because you need to commit additional practice, of course, and individual instruction with a coach. So that involves private lessons, time commitment. You have to make sure that you can make quality use of the time and space that you have available to you. One recommendation is that you have 2 hours of practice available for every 1 hour of private coaching. You have to take into consideration the cost and time for music and costumes. And so if we tie this into our long-term athlete development plan, these athletes fall into the train to train and the learn to compete categories. So I've just pulled a little bit out of the long-term athlete development to highlight here. So an athlete, if you want them doing B compulsories, they should be doing B compulsories before they do freestyle. So it's recommended that it's the train to train athletes that are ready to do B compulsories. You can see the ages there and the concepts of this level. The time commitment for that type of athlete is 3 to 4 classes a week for 3 to 4 hours per class. They're the type of athlete that is entering local, provincial open and winter events, interprovincial opens. So if you go to the neighboring province for competitions, you travel for competitions, and our Canadian winter events. And within the skills development program, they are working on or achieving the turquoise pink and the gold pin. And then the learn to compete athlete is that's the athlete that's ready to do B freestyle or B pair. You can see the ages there. Their time commitment is 5 to 6 classes or training a week for 3 to 4 hours a session. And they do provincial winner, interprovincial, Canadian winner, possibly Pan-Pacific and International Cup. And then you can see the other baton-specific events that they do there. So that's what's come out of the technical committee recommendations. It's not anything set in stone, but we wanted to provide our coaches and our athletes with something to base their decision upon. And then along the lines, same lines for pair, they should be in a duet at the BI level is likely where they would be at when they're ready to do a pair. Of course, they should be friends or at least like each other, and they should have two baton skills at the BN level. And then other considerations before committing to a B pair would be the same as for freestyle. You need additional practice, private lessons, 2 hours of practice for every hour of coaching, and then of course the additional costs and time for music and costuming. So hopefully that kind of gives you an idea of where the athletes should be at before they commit to this level of training. And it's good information to provide to the parents as well. So use this as a coach, use this to help make your decisions, but also talk about it with the parents of the kids that are interested in doing those events. A few more things that are implemented for this season. So medley section 1, there's going to be a 0.1 penalty for any missed elements in the first section of medley. And a missed element can be defined as attempted but failed, incomplete, missed, or not attempted. So an example of attempted but failed would be, say, a spin that only made it around not the complete 360 degrees. Maybe they only made it halfway around. So they attempted their spin, but they failed. They didn't meet the requirement. So that becomes a missed element. And then there's the ones that just totally don't do an element. So of course that's incomplete or not even attempted. So the score sheet has been revised and is available on the website, and competition directors will need to ensure that they're using the updated version at your competitions, and make sure your tabulators are aware of the penalties that are applied to medley. So here's just a look at the bottom half of the new score sheet. You can see in section 1 there, an element is missed or incomplete gets the penalty marked. Dance twirl team and twirl team, so effective January 1st, it's actually this season. A level B dance twirl team or twirl team must achieve a net score of 40 from at least one judge at their provincial winter event to qualify for Canadians. And a level A dance twirl team or twirl team must achieve a net score of 60 from at least one judge at their provincial championships in order to qualify for Canadians. So that's different than what's been done in the past. In the past, it's been top 10 in every division has qualified for Canadians. Now we're implementing the minimum score, more in line with what we're doing for individuals as well. This one is effective September 2020, so not this season, but this will affect the 2021 Canadians. BN will not be offered as a winter championship event, So the level C and level BN will be offered in the open competition part, the Maple Leaf Open. Level BI and BA will be part of the winter events, and level A, of course, is the championship event. So this is bringing things more in line with long-term athlete development as well. Of course, the local level C and BN kids are encouraged to enter the Maple Leaf Open. We're not necessarily thinking that we need to encourage level C and BN kids to travel across the country to compete in Canadians when they should be doing their provincial and interprovincial competitions first. So that's the reasoning for that rule. And declaration guidelines for the Nations Cup. So this is along the lines of the same that we had for International Cup, but we've just cleaned it up a bit because of our level BA that has been added. So you can see from the chart that to enter a B event, you should be, the guidelines are BA in the CBTF events. To enter the A level at Nations Cup, you would be level A in CBTF events. And then elite, so a score, if you're scoring 8.0 or higher in solo or freestyle, or sorry, if you're a freestyle finalist at the World Championships, we would recommend that you go elite for solo. 2 baton and 3 baton, if you're scoring 8.0, you would be elite. Artistic twirl 8.0 or a finalist in freestyle at Worlds, you should be doing elite. And then artistic pair, a score of at least 8.0 in duet, or you're a pair finalist at the World Championships. And that net 8.0 average can come from any round at the Canadian Winter Championship. This one is just to clean up a little bit the troubles we have with having open competitions running in June, so after the provincials and before the Canadians. So I think that this will make things a whole lot easier. So advancement in status levels from provincial winter championships will not become effective until September 1st of that year. So the old one was if you qualified and you're going to Canadians, your level freezes, but if you weren't going to Canadians, then you moved up, and it can get complicated. So everybody who competes at provincial winter championships, all those advancements are on hold until September 1st, regardless if you're going to Canadians or not. So if you're competing in any other competitions between your provincials and Canadians, you stay at the same level that you were at provincials. And then status levels for all open competition athletes and groups will freeze at May 31st until September of that year. So again, along the same lines, if you were level C in a competition on May 30th, you're going to be level C until September of that year. So if you were level C and you happen to enter the Maple Leaf Open, then that's the level you'll enter. So just trying to keep things a little bit cleaner and easier on setting up the Canadian competition. CBTF competition music. So it's going to be, of course, available digitally to all technical members. And new this year, we're allowing the technical members to share that music with their athletes. We know it's happening. We also know that kids are pulling music off of wherever they can find it and practicing to not good quality copies of music. So the idea was to allow our technical members to share this with our athletes so that they can go and practice to the good quality proper music. So it'll still be available for purchase in a CD format if you choose for non-technical members. So you'll require a CBTF website login to access the free music, and that's going to be available after November 1st. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the judging updates. Jenna, I believe, is on a flight right now, so I would have had her present this, but I'll present it on her behalf. So caption scoring charts, they've been prepared for Dance Twirl Team and Pom Pom Team. So now we have the same tools as Twirl Team, and they're going to be available on the CBTF website. There's the little pathway to find them. And a big thank you to Ron for his work in developing those for us over the past year. And just so you can have a little peek here. So we've broken down by caption, the scores for each of the dance twirl teams on the role model tape, and then we have pared down the number of pom-pom teams on the role model tape as well. So again, those tools will be up on the website for the judges to download. And Jeff is going to work on incorporating that into the actual role model video. But for now, separate video, separate tool. And the judge selection process will follow the same as the previous years for Canadian team trials and Canadian championships. And those exams are going to be available in early December, and the selection committee will meet in January. And for Worlds, again, we're going to try and follow the same process as last year. WBTF has implemented an exam process as well. So Canada will select a number of judges who will then be able to write the WBTF selection exams.
So the conflict of interest policy for the judges was updated at the fall conference, and those updates are on the website now. The main change, the real change, is that we're making both judges and competition directors responsible for ensuring that competitions both are fair but also appear to be fair. And so we're asking judges to do a little bit more as part of their contracting process. Judges who are contracted have to report all contact that they've had with athletes and coaches alongside their judge's contract. Now we've created a networking list that we call it that gives some structure to what they have to report. But in essence, we want judges to report whenever they've been working at an open clinic, and we've got certain information they have to report for that. Whenever they've been working in a non-clinic setting, so private lessons, group classes, etc. And the other one is that we're asking them to report any specific consulting that they might do with a coach or club. So our definition of a contact is quite broad. We ask judges to report teaching or coaching in any capacity, whether it's specific skills, elements, choreography, critiquing, or anything, in any capacity and in any discipline, whether it's baton or non-baton. And there's information for a clinic situation. We just need to know the date and the location. We don't need to know who all the kids in the class were. For non-clinic settings, so private lessons and specific group classes, those we do need to know. We do expect the judge to report the names of the athletes that they were involved with. And similarly, when they do consulting for a coach or club, we need to know when and what they did and who the coach and club were. The way it's structured is the judge's responsibility is to report all of their contacts. They don't filter them. They don't say, well, this one's not important. They report them all. A failure to report any contact is going to be considered a serious breach of the judge's code of conduct, and we already have processes in place to deal with judging ethical breaches. We do expect the competition director then to look over that contact list when they're preparing their set system and use that as a guide to know what lanes, what divisions a judge can or cannot judge. And it's now up to the competition director to assess the extent of the contact and whether, in that competition director's opinion for that particular competition that they're working on, whether that contact constitutes a serious enough conflict of interest that they would put the judge on a different lane. The networking sheet is a mandatory attachment for all contracts. So even if a judge isn't involved in any coaching or any consulting or anything like that, we do ask that they do submit the networking list, and they would just report none on there and sign and date it. And that's just important to know so that we know that the judge has actually given it consideration as opposed to just, oh, I forgot to attach the networking list. And then the judge is responsible for updating their networking list and resubmitting it to all of the competition directors that they're contracted with throughout the season if any of the circumstances change. So they might, when they're applying for a contract in December, have a certain collection of things, but then they might do some work in January. After that work in January, they need to update their networking list and send it back out to the competition directors that they're contracted with. And then there was some old stuff in the conflict of interest policy that had specific scenarios where a judge had to specifically disqualify themselves from judging. We've kept those. We've just defined a little bit more tightly what it means to be a relative and so on. So there's a little bit more precision, I guess, in those scenarios where a judge has to disqualify themselves.
Moving along, the group handbook. So project lead Maureen Johnson, along with the education committee, has revised the group handbook to update the event descriptions, concepts, and primary focus for twirl team and dance twirl team. This came out of the 2018 fall meeting. So all coaches and judges should download the handbook from the website, and you can find that in the resource section. And these are the pages. So we've left the information highlighted that's been changed. So when you download that, you can see where the changes occurred. So those are the 4 pages that have changes. And I'm just going to go through the comparison between twirl team and dance twirl team. So hopefully we can have this clear in everybody's head. So twirl team, the event emphasizes twirling skills in a group setting, combined with the skills utilized in the dance twirl team event. The twirl team event will aid in the development of strong WBTF freestyle teams and WBTF artistic groups. And then for dance twirl team, the event emphasizes both dance and baton skills on their own and correlated in a group setting. And again, combined with the skills utilized in twirl team, the dance twirl team event will aid in the development of strong WBTF freestyle teams and artistic groups. And then we have a breakdown of our pre-competitive twirl team versus pre-competitive dance twirl team. So both are designed as transitional events for athletes moving into competitive group baton twirling using skills acquired from the CBTF development program, skills development program, and our individual events in the CBTF pre-competitive program. So the progressive approach allows the athletes to build on the foundation and move into group events with confidence, while providing coaches with a group of athletes that have a consistent set of skills developed with a consistent technique. So both events, twirl team and dance twirl team at the pre-competitive level, have the same goals. Primary focus within the pre-competitive twirl team is to develop a good and consistent basic baton and body technique in all of the members, develop an understanding of spatial relationships between athletes, and introduce partner work. And then in the pre-competitive dance twirl, primary focus is to maintain good and consistent basic baton technique with the added demand of combining the baton work with dance. To further develop an understanding of spatial relationships between athletes by utilizing musical understanding and timing, and to encourage performance skills in all members. So both sets of standard routines provide a skill level that is achievable by all athletes in the group. Moving into the competitive events of twirl team and dance twirl team. So twirl team is an event that requires strong individual twirling skills, aerials, rolls, and contact from all members, combined with strong group twirling skills, exchanges, and multiple baton work, appropriate to their competitive level. These skills are demonstrated through the forms, transitions, musical demands created by the program design, and the logical use of time and space. And then for dance twirl team, it's an event that requires correct dance technique for the selected style from all members, combined with strong twirling skills, both as individuals and as a group, all appropriate to their competitive level. The difficulty of the separate dance and baton skills is enhanced by presenting them in a blended manner without any loss of technique. The musicality displayed and the degree of dance and twirl are distinguishing elements of this event. Twirl team, staying within the skill level of all athletes is essential, as full credit can only be earned when the entire team demonstrates mastery and correct technique of both body and baton. Likewise, for dance twirl team, staying within the skill level of all athletes is essential, as full credit can only be earned when the dance and baton technique remains strong when executed separately and also when blended together. The concept summary for twirl team is that twirl team is a twirling focused event performed by a group of athletes set to music of your choice. The program should include both individual and group twirling skills demonstrated uniformly by all athletes. The program will be influenced by the style and pacing of the musical selection. And then over to dance twirl team. Dance twirl team is a combination of dance steps, baton twirling, body movements, including all parts of the body, performed by a group of athletes set to music of your choice. Athletes should not just dance with their bodies, but make their batons dance also, and help the audience and judges see the music. Primary focus for the twirl team is the 3 individual twirling modes, aerials, rolls, and contact, with proper technique. The 2 group twirling modes of exchanges and multiple baton with proper technique, and then precision and unison. Primary focus on the dance twirl team event is incorporation of dance steps and series coordinated with the music and blended with baton twirling and handling. Full credit should only be given to baton twirling and dance moves that are done in conjunction with each other with proper technique. And then with both, the correlation between music selected and the program design should be evident. The music should be appropriate to the age of the athletes. And then with dance twirl team, correlation between music selected and style of dance utilized should be evident. As well, the music and dance should be appropriate to the age and skill level of the athletes. And then we've listed the secondary considerations for both. So I'm not going to read all those out. You can see them on there, but basically it's all other considerations common to group events. And within the dance twirl team, exchanges are a secondary consideration, and precision and unison. And then all the other considerations common to group events. So hopefully that will clarify a little bit of the questions surrounding what's the difference between twirl team and dance twirl team. So again, everybody go and download that. The group handbook, it's free from the CBTF website. And now we're going to just move into our coaching realignment. So I showed you these charts last year, so I'm not going to go through them in detail. But we have our coaching programs that start with the coach and training and move through baton twirling foundations, competition 1, 2, 3, and 4. And within the last month, all of our registered coaches should have received a personal email from me with your newly assigned level within the coaching realignment. Just to make note that there have been no competition 4 levels handed out just yet. So the highest level that's been reassigned is level competition 3. And then we're working on the competition 4 credits. So that's going to be coming up. So right now, happy to say that the online tutorials are ready to go for coach and training and baton twirling foundations program, and just about ready to go for the competition 1 coaching program. And then the practical content, the baton twirling foundations course practical content is ready to go and just about ready to go on competition 1. This is explaining when you're trained. And just a reminder to keep continuing with your NCCP courses, because those are still a part of the program. And then you become certified after you are evaluated. So I won't go into detail on this because we've talked about it before. But here we go, the coach and training program. That one's complete. There's no charge to sign up, but you have to be a CBTF member. And once you register through the CBTF website, you're going to get access to the online tutorials and the handbook through our new education portal. The handbook provides information on the program for the coach and training, the mentor, and the logs for recording your practical hours. And then same for the part 2. That one's ready to go. And baton twirling foundations, this program's complete. The theory portion is available through our education portal. Participants will sign up on the website and you have to pay $50 to take that portion of the course. So that's basically, you used to purchase a manual and now you're purchasing an online course for the theory. And then the practical portion is going to be available as soon as I get the course conductors trained. So those materials are complete thanks to the retreat that we were able to host in February. The CBTF fee for this portion of the course is also $50, but some provinces may have to charge a higher registration fee to cover additional expenses that they incur in hosting a course. And then the third and final portion is the evaluation, and that also has a fee of $50. So in total, it would be $150 to become fully certified at the Baton Twirling Foundation's level. Competition 1, as I mentioned, is almost complete, and the theory portion will be available through the education portal, and participants will sign up on the website. And the practical portion's just about ready to go. So we'll be running those courses shortly. So here's a little peek at what the education portal webpage would look like. So once you purchase your course, you'll be sent the link and information for logging in and creating your account within the education portal. And then once you're in, you'll see a dashboard like this. And over on the right-hand side will be the courses that you've paid for or that you can access for free. And then once you go a little bit deeper into the course, you'll see the little tutorials that you can pull up. So we're kind of excited to get, well, I'm excited to get this one going. And Jeff has been doing a lot of work on getting this education portal up and running. So watch for those announcements coming very, very soon. Oh, and here's the Baton Twirling Foundation's sample as well. And then I just took some screenshots for you to see. So you can do these courses on your laptop, on a desktop, on an iPad, on a smartphone. I think the smartphone idea would be a little bit small, but I mean, if you want to and you like it, then go for it. So that was the coaching one. With the judging realignment, we're working on that as well. As soon as I get the coaching ones going, I'll be able to pull some stuff into the judging side of things. And the new judging programs will be labeled, well, the first one's adjudicator, and then we're going to have Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, Division 4, and Master Judge. So that's how we've named them, and we've decided to use a different naming standard than we currently use so that there's no confusion in any of the certifications. So I'll just move through here. The adjudicator course is the first one, A1 course, is for yellow, orange, red, and maroon. And there's 14 online tutorials for that, and that's just about ready to go. Scan through this for you. And there's our adjudicator courses. So again, a few screenshots for you to see the course itself. Once you log in, you'll have the information. You'll be able to download PDFs. You can view the videos and read the information that would have previously been in a manual for you. And then we've updated the course conductor application process. So current course conductors will have the option to update and continue conducting courses within the new realigned programs. And I've reached out to, I think it was the L1 course conductors, and majority of the people want to continue. So thank you very much for that. The Baton Twirling Foundation's update for course conductors will be held on a webinar, and I'm going to schedule that for January. So just watch for that. If you are a current course conductor, and anyone interested in becoming a course conductor, you can apply, and I encourage you to do so. We want to get course conductors active in every province if we can. So go visit the technical reference manual page on the website, and there's the information on how the course conductors are selected, and we've created an online application form in the resource section. So if you're interested in applying to be a course conductor, go online, submit your application, and the education committee will review all of those applications. So Maureen's going to talk to us a little bit about the WBTF short program.
Okay, this this coming up this year, the contact section has been changed. It will still take 24 counts of music. There will be 8 counts for a vertical combination, 8 count pause, and 8 count horizontal section. So the junior athletes won't do any connecting material, but the A athletes will do connecting material between all the elements. So that would mean that in the contact section, they would do the 8 count set vertical combination, then their own connecting material, and then the 8 count set horizontal section. So there is a video of this, of the 2 combinations. There's 2 videos and there are notes. The one video is just a demonstration, and the other video is broken down more for the technical execution, especially of the footwork and the body work. And then the notes have all that detail plus specific revolution count for the flips. So I think there's a lot of help out there that can make this quite an easy transition for everybody. And the juniors do exactly the same elements as the seniors, just minus the connecting material. And that will be going into effect this year. And it's a formality at the January meeting. Everything has to be officially formalized, but I think that it is happening. So I've sent out all the information that has been prepared. And I see on the chat room here that the CBTF education portal has its own address. Oh, well, that has nothing to do with the SHARP program. That's on the website, both CBTF and WBTF.
Great, thanks, Maureen. And thank you so much to Maureen for her work on this on behalf of Canada. I understand that there was, Maureen, what, 14 submissions at the WBTF level, and the Canadian one was selected. So that's kudos to you for the work you did on that.
Yeah, it was a good project to be working on, I think.
Great, thank you. Okay, almost done, guys. Major competitions. So just take note of our provincial competition dates that we have received. And just a reminder that clubs and provinces can't book judges for open competitions occurring on any of the dates listed above until approved by the CBTF technical chair. That's to allow for our provincial competitions to get their judges in place before the opens take up the rest of the judging panels. And just a reminder, WBTF master judges must be used for team trial events. And Joanne, you're there. You're going to talk a little bit about Pan Pacific.
Hi, Dana. Yeah, I'm here. So just a bit of an update on Pan Pacific. We've been organizing things through an online project management process that some of you are probably familiar with. It's called Asana, and so we've been using that for daily communications. Jeff, as the competition director, is in a position now to sort of block out the competition in terms of timing and what things will look like, and we expect very shortly that more detailed stuff about scheduling will then fall into place. Also, some exciting news. I am working with Sandy Weimers to try and facilitate Pakistan attending, and so they had attempted to come to International Cup but ran into some roadblocks with getting visas to enter France, and so we're trying really hard to get that process for them so that they, as a new WBTF country, can have some athletes participating. So I don't know the numbers and I don't know whether or not we'll be able to help them get their visas, but we've been working very hard on that. So that's kind of exciting to have potentially a new country coming. We also have information put together that should be circulated in the near future about meal options, pre-booking like lunches, suppers, and other things like the athletes get together and the potential for a coaches and parents get together. Also a WBTF Master Judge workshop. and we're just in the process of contracting with a clinician to put that on. And just a reminder to book your hotel rooms before December 15th expires, so that you get your room, you get the rate, and that we're also not penalized for not filling our commitment. So right now, that's about all that I can tell you. Oh, and there's also a sponsorship package that should be coming out soon as well. So, of course, we, CBTF, and ABTA as our support will benefit from the financial success of this competition. It looks to be about the same size as a Canadians competition, well over 200 athletes. So once that information comes out, we'll circulate it. And even if you aren't going or you don't have athletes going, even putting in a small ad or some kind of support in the program or something, or if you know someone who can be a contributor in kind, it would be really appreciated to try and cut down on our costs, increase our revenues, and make sure that we're successful for this event. So that's what I can update everyone on right now.
Great, thanks, Joanne. And Jeff is going to talk to us about the Canadian team trials.
Okay, so Canadian team trials are in Regina at the university. There's university accommodation that's being used rather than a hotel for everyone that's at the trials. They're just going to send out some information in early November about how to book the rooms. There's a variety of different room structures, and it's 44 per person per night in the dorm. And then it's very conveniently located to the gym. There is a parking fee, of course, because it's a university campus, and universities are famous for charging exorbitant rates for their parking. And the host committee is working on putting together a continental breakfast, and so details, because there was some interest expressed in that, so the details will be coming out on that. The basic schedule for the competition is sort of a typical trials. Friday is the practice day, Saturday and Sunday is the competition, and Monday will be the contingent clinic and the contingent meeting. The one thing that they are doing in Regina, in addition to the team trial competition, they are also having an open freestyle competition level B, and so we'll be incorporating that into the competition day on the Saturday.
Good, and then moving on to the 2020 Canadians. Jeff as well, if you wouldn't mind.
That's me too. Okay, so this is in Moncton, which is a familiar city for us, but it's in a new facility. Moncton has a new arena that's been built, the Avenir Center. We had a chance to take a look at it when we were there for the fall conference in September, and it looks to be just an outstanding facility for Canadians. It has a wood. It's an arena, so it's concrete floor, but the facility hosts basketball games. They do have their own wood floor that we'll be using. And it's a multi-purpose facility, so I think the plans are to have the athletes party there, to have the technical social there. It's right downtown, so the committee is still negotiating hotel rates with a couple different properties, but they're all downtown, so it's all very close. So we're really looking forward to being in that location. The Canadian dates, the competition will run from July 1st through the 6th. The first is the practice day, the judges meeting and the opening ceremony. The competition itself follows sort of what's become our normal competition schedule, 4-day competition schedule running from Thursday through Sunday. And then Monday is the Pride of Canada Open Clinic. I guess the one thing that we don't have on that schedule, which has also become our norm now, is that the athletes party we do after the closing ceremony, so that will be on the Sunday evening.
Then we're going to jump back to Joanne for just a quick update on 2020 Worlds.
Sure. So I don't have a lot more information than what we had since Italy was successful in their bid to host the World Championship. The only information that's come to me recently is travel distance from the major airports, and they did give it to us in terms of hours. It just says that travel from the main international airports from Bologna, it's about an hour and 15 minutes. So this is ground travel, and I don't know, like right now we'll figure it out in January for those of us who are going, how that will work. I'm assuming that's by car. Milan is 3 hours and 30 minutes. Venice airport is 3 hours, and the Rome airport is 4 hours. So in terms of travel there, it's going to be, for most people coming from Canada, several flights. If you're in the Toronto area or lucky enough to be near a major airport, it might be 2 plus ground transport. So I would factor that into, once we know who's qualified, factor that into your travel time and travel days. I think we need to add an additional day for getting there and an additional day for getting back. So for example, if I were going, I'd be looking at Regina, Toronto, Jeff and I looked probably Amsterdam, and then switching to domestic Amsterdam to Bologna, and then another drive. So it will be exhausting to get there, and if you're leaving from there to get home. The only other information that I know is that of course, the location is on the coast of the Adriatic. It's farther south than where we were in Croatia, so expect it to be really hot. The facility, what they've told us, is not air conditioned, but they're going to be bringing in some kind of an air conditioning machine. And I wasn't around when the World Championship was in Rome previously, but from what I've heard, it wasn't very effective air conditioning. There will be, and we've got on the screen here some images of the facility, and they've described it to us as sort of the seating is like a board style seating. So for the spectators, if you're coming, probably wise to bring along a stadium seat or something to sit on. Other than that, I'm hoping that we'll get more information before the winter meeting, but certainly at the winter meeting, we'll be able to look at the facility and find out more about the hotels, meal options, and those kinds of things that, of course, the coaches and athletes and officials and parents want to know. So right now, I'm waiting for more information, and certainly will circulate it when we're there in January. Anything that I can post to our Facebook or Instagram pages, I'll put pictures or information so that you get the information as soon as I get it. And then we'll also follow up with information that I'll send out to the board. And so I ask the board members to be timely in checking their emails and forwarding stuff to their athletes, coaches, officials, parents who are going to be going to team trials, so that they know about this before even going to our qualifier. So that's as much as I can tell you right now.
Great, thanks, Joanne. So that's the end of everything that we have to present to you. I'm just going to take a peek in the chat here to see if there was any questions.
So Leisha had a question about whether freestyle athletes are required to attain all the badges and pins in order to continue participating in the event.
No, we only put the restrictions in for C and B compulsories.
And then Elan had a question with the conflict of interest policy. She was wondering, where is it? What is the process if a coach disagrees with the competition director's assessment?
I'll leave that to you, Jeff. I don't believe that there is a process. So, it's the competition director gets the final say.
Yep. So, I will just say this. I said, I guess first and foremost, the first thing to do would be for the coach to actually discuss it with the competition director, because one of the goals of the new policy is to have greater transparency of what's going on and why decisions are being made the way they are. And so now that we would have full disclosure from the judges on all of their different athlete and club contacts, rather than relying on like the whisper gallery or the gossip brigade, we're expecting that the competition director will now actually have sort of all of the facts at their disposal to make a decision. And they would then be able to explain the rationale for their actual decision to any coach that had a question, to say, well, why did you have Judge X doing such and such on lane Y? Because I heard she was working with so-and-so. And it would, at that point, it's pretty easy for the competition director to simply refer back to the networking list and say, well, in fact, Judge X didn't report that they worked with so-and-so, so that's why they're there. And we're now into a situation where either the judge didn't report it, which would be a breach of their code of ethics, which could be dealt with in its own way, or the gossip gallery was wrong, and Judge X hadn't worked with Susie Q, or the competition director said, well, yes, in fact, Judge X did say they worked with Susie Q, and it was at an open clinic in October. And so for my competition, I didn't think it mattered. Now, we do expect that different competition directors at different competitions in the season will apply a different standard. Like, I would expect that the standard would, for example, the Canadians, would be a much stricter standard in terms of how much constitutes a conflict than, say, the standard that some competition director would apply at a critique competition that's the first one of the season in January. So the intent here, though, is to have greater transparency, and that applies throughout. Now, I suppose if after all that, the coach was still not satisfied with the competition director's decision, I guess they'd have the same recourse that they have today, which would be to file a complaint. And that would, wend its way through their provincial body and then work its way up.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. Hopefully that answers your question, Elan. And then just going down through some other questions. Kyla, where on the website is the portal? So Jeff answered that the education portal will have its own address or website. And then also so you'll still pay for your courses through the CBTF store, and then that'll generate you a link over to the education site, and then you'll create another login and password for the education site, and that's where you'll access your courses.
Yep, and actually we can say the 2019 Canadians focus meeting we're using that as a first go at this, and so any of the judges who want to use that, who didn't attend, who want to use that focus meeting as their update, they would go through the process of purchasing it. It's a no charge purchase, but purchasing it through the CBTF store. That will trigger us to create an account on the education portal, which you'll get an email for that, and you'll get enrolled in the focus meeting course that's on the portal already, and then you can complete the course through the education portal, and the portal will track that you've completed all segments of that course.
So that'd be great if judges could actually start that process. That'll give us an idea if there's any glitches or anything that we need to address within the new site, and give us some feedback on how it worked for you. So we're going to have the coaching program starting up very shortly in there too. So it'd be great for people to start getting used to using that portal, and it's going to be able to track all of your educational, courses and accomplishments within that one place. So hopefully after this, we won't be doing any bugging for any more database information. Another question here from Brenda. New Brunswick is hosting a competition in December and wondering if we are okay to offer the new junior senior A short program before January. Sure, go for it if you like to. You mean the new contact section? You want them to try the new contact section? I'm okay with that as long as your judges are okay with that. Make sure you give them the heads up that you're using the new program.
And it is approved at the WBTF level effective September, like a month ago, September. So.
And we're just waiting on the approval of the actual contact section is what I understand, and that's expected to go through, right?
So the board approved it. What's likely to happen in December, because now that coaches have been using it for, by that point, 4 months, there may be a revision, like a minor revision or two. And that's what would happen in January when the technical room gets back together. But the vertical and horizontal separate sections, that's a done deal.
Okay. Is that okay, Brenda? I'm assuming that answers your question.
Yes, Paula wanted the coaches to work with it, to have everybody work with it and find any particular kinks or whatever.
Okay.
You're actually working with real live athletes that would be competing with it, not necessarily former athletes or whatever. So anyway, that's what's going to happen in January, and hopefully there'll be nothing, because I think the notes are very clear.
Okay, good, thank you. Taylor has a question. The B Freestyle Open competition is 100% happening at team trials. Yes. Yes, that's happening. Leisha, do the event restrictions, maximum 2 years in B, from IC carry over to Nations Cup? Yes. Question from Susan. Who submits the badge results after the athlete completes it, the coaches or the adjudicator? The adjudicator is responsible, and in some provinces it goes through the SDP rep who is responsible, or the event coordinator. So if there was somebody directing the badge testing day, so actually that could be a coach, is responsible. So and those all go into Sarah at the SDP REP at cbtf.ca address. So you'll be hearing from Sarah this week. Question. Will all of Saskatchewan get information on the Level B short program pilot project? Yes, all of Canada will get information on the pilot project. We'll post that on the website and circulate it through the technical reps in each province. And then there'll be a questionnaire at the end of the season to fill out and give your feedback on the project. So it's preferred if it's done as a province, so Saskatchewan or Alberta or Manitoba or any of the provinces, you know, to run these pilot programs and provide the feedback. So we'll look for that coming soon.
The video has been made. The video has been made of the suggested short program for the B athletes. That filming was done. It just has to get put on the website, and it's ready to go once. I think Jeff has it, but the videoing has been done, so it'll come out to everybody.
Yeah. Maureen, you said, so are you going to redo it, or are you going to leave it as is?
No, I did redo it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I did redo it, and I did a better leap, better picture of the leap, and I did it with fewer athletes, so it's clearer.
Okay. Great.
And I compared the two, and it's very, very similar to what we did, but some details have been cleaned up. So it's soon ready to go, and I know the deadline, the target date is November 15th, but the videoing has been done, so it's whatever has to happen after the videoing, that's what's still not done.
Yep, so we'll get that out in the next couple of weeks then. Video and written explanation of how the pilot will run.
I haven't done the written yet though, but I will do that.
Yeah, you'll get to it.
I will.
One of the other things that needs to come out related to short program, and this would apply to both the B pilot as well as the A stuff, is we'll have to publish some judging notes in terms of how the judges are expected to handle the short program element going forward, because that'll come out as well.
Yeah, all a part of the project. So good. If there's any other questions, just either type them in the box or unmute yourself. Oh, here's something popped up. Going back to SDP, will Sarah be sending out per club, or will this be an annual report? No, what Sarah's doing this week is just reaching out to the SDP reps in each province to share the database that she currently has and give them an opportunity to fill in any blanks that might be missing currently. Step 2 after that, once each province has had the chance to do that, I believe Sarah will then do the updates and send it back out to the provinces, asking for coach input to see if there's anything further missing from there. And then we can try and chase down those adjudication results. But we're going to start with just the reps first, and hopefully we can capture everything we need at that point. Okay, so I think we're good. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in tonight. And hopefully the information is useful for you. If you have any questions about anything, go through your technical rep, please, who will then contact me, and we'll get it cleared up. And then this webinar will be posted on the website for viewing for anybody who wasn't able to join us tonight. So thanks again to everybody, and I hope you have a very good competition season, and I will leave you with a little quote.